My name is Depeng Jiang. My research interest is mainly statistical methods for longitudinal data. So as you know, follow-up study has relatively large, and we can say the longest longitudinal. So we love to work on this as a statistician. So Bob and I look at one of the variables, say general variable, say mental health function over time. So it's measured by SF36. So we look at data just within those 10 years windows. So basically the scale here, if you have a high score indicating you have better mental health. So we look at data within those 10-year window. So basically we have 1,700 men. They have at least 1 point of this outcome. And we use a statistical method called trajectory analysis or growth mixture model. What we found is basically there are 4 different patterns, 4 different groups of men. There are one group that majority of the men, they're 70%, they generally mental health very good. Then there's another 10% of the group over time, look at over time, their mental health is not good, poor mental health. Then we have another group, about that 14% of the men, they generally, their mental health decreasing over time. And there another small group, that's about 7% of our sample. Their level of mental health quite fluctuate a lot over time. So compare those 4 different groups. So which group do you think will have highest mortality rates over within those 10-year windows? Probably you are saying this group, right? They have overall poor mental health. Okay, right. Then which group have the lowest mortality rates? You might think it's that group. Okay, I will show what data tells us. Also compare those 2 groups, those 2 trajectory groups. Say one we call decreasing trajectory group, another we call indeterminate group trajectory. Which group you think have higher mortality rates? Or they have more likely to die? It might be hard to say, right? Okay, so let's look at what data tells us. So look at those blue bars. It's a mortality rate for each group. So what actually we found, it is true that those men who follow the poor mental health trajectory have a high odds of dying over those 10 years. But interesting is here is that those following indeterminate trajectory groups actually also have higher odds of dying compared to those decreasing, the mental health decrease over the group. So whether that makes sense, we are not discussing that. But if we look at another, thing, the person self-perceived, say what's the successful aging thing, whether they think independence as a successful aging thing. Interestingly, you see it's this group. Look at the red bar here. Red bar here. Interesting is also the decreasing groups. They are more likely think independence as a successful aging thing. So what happened? Does that make sense? Okay, before you make any conclusion about your data analysis result as a statistician, we are not always asking, do I use the right methods? Is there anything wrong with that, with my analysis? So there's a fundamental assumption for this kind of statistical method we call general growth model, that we assume those missing data we know we have a lot of people, they don't have data, either because they died or they drop out study or they just don't complete the questionnaire, right? So for this kind of analysis, we assume those missing are at random. Basically, that means we assume why they are missing. Those people missing the skill, they have similar pattern as those not missing. But in our case, that's not true, because we see we have, by last year, we have about half of the men, they died. Those died definitely will have different pattern of mental health over time, right? So that's not true. So the assumption does not hold. Also, what I show you is kind of a separated analysis. That's also kind of not right. We need to jointly model the two different outcomes, say trajectory of mental health and time to events data. So we need to require joint model even 3 or more other outcomes. Also for those, say, they are either dropout study or they are not complete non-responsive study. We want to know why they are missing, what's the pattern of the missing. We want to also model that. If we want to do that, so Bob and I thought maybe we should put this together to ask for some funds support. So actually we are get fund support from MHRC to get further thinking about statistical methods to analyze data like follow-up study we have. So how we analyze, say, multi-valid longitudinal data. As you see, we have mental health, we have physical health, all independence, successful independence, same. And how we joint model longitudinal data and time to event data. And okay. So, so the objective of this is kind to want to promote use of like this kind of statistical methods like closed mixture model, or more generally we call person-oriented scat methods in analyze health related longitudinal data. I also like to have a graduate student who have interest in this kind of study or using this kind of methods to working on this.